Thank you for having me speak today. I attended this event last year. It was wonderful, and I'm too absorbed in listening to everybody else speak, but I want to share a little bit of my experience, strength, and hope. I've been an HR practitioner for 25 years, and before I started my business, I was a corporate HR executive. I had the responsibility of both hiring and firing employees for my company, and it's kind of embarrassing when you have to fire somebody that you've hired. So the takeaway from my 5 minutes today is, what new and innovative things can you do to mitigate or avoid your risk of a bad hire? Because the cost of a bad hire can be expensive. I don't know if you read the story this past week of the Port Authority officers who were fired for having a drunken graduation party after they graduated from the academy. Just their training alone was $36,000 a person. 9 people, $324,000. I don't know about you, I don't think any organization wants to lose that much money to the bottom line. So the job of HR is to save money, not make money. So I want to talk to you about lease to buy. And there are constraints. So there are a couple of ideas here that you can use. You can hire temporary employees. So when I worked at Transworld Entertainment as the head of HR, we would hire seasonal employees in the warehouse for 60 days. And if they worked out during the season, we would hire them. So I know, I was talking to Kevin Grace earlier today. He was telling me that he uses that method to try out employees before he makes them regular employees. Now, these suggestions, by the way, are offered in the context of you need to do them in compliance. So if you're looking for where the boundaries are, don't go to the federal, just the federal DOL website. New York State DOL will tell you what are the constraints about hiring employees, what are the costs, and also if you look at hiring another lease to buy option using a contractor at 1099, New York State DOL on their website has a wonderful list of what they consider to be a true contractor. So you want to save the money of that $36,000 that they lost on those bad hires per employee, but you also don't want to incur additional charges by not doing it in compliance. Now, I know there are several of my friends and colleagues in the room who are also using this method, and I was talking to my friend Mark Menard. He's the CEO of Enable Labs, and he talked about there's a moment of love, now not sexually harassing love, okay? We're talking about vocational love, where he tried out a software developer, and the joy of understanding both on the part of the person he hired and on his part that they could do great work together. I was lucky enough when I worked at GE at the beginning of my HR career, my second job, I also did press relations, and my best boss of my career sat me down for 5 minutes during an interview, and he said, we've just had a chemical release, you have to write a holding statement in 10 minutes, do it. And I did it. It was great. It was a rush of adrenaline. I ripped the page out of the typewriter. Yes, I'm that old. It was an IBM Selectric. And I handed him the holding statement, and he and his communications consultant looked at me, and they said, you're the only candidate of 5 candidates who was able to do that. And not only did I know I had the job, I knew I could do the job. And boy, did that feel great. So not only do you get to test drive through these various methods, but think about the relationship building, the bond that you make when you both realize, the hiring authority and the new employee, that you can do great work together. So I want to invite you to think about lease to buy, because before I was an entrepreneur, I was an intrapreneur. And I think that you all want employees like me. I don't want to be an employee again, by the way. But you want those intrapreneurs. You want them to do their job like they own the business with you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much, Deb.